Hello, everybody. So, the teaching strategy we have is searching, selecting. This strategy refers to searching for more sources to get appropriate information that leads to answering questions, defining terminologies, clarifying concepts, and gathering more information. It is also a powerful technique for improving reading comprehension and critical thinking skills. So here's how you can teach it to your students. So first is explain the concept. Introduce the core idea. Explain that the search selecting strategy involves actively searching for and selecting the most important information within a text. Emphasize purpose. Explain that this strategy helps students focus on key ideas. They learn to identify the main points and supporting details. Improve comprehension. By focusing on essential information, they grasp the overall meaning more effectively. Enhance critical thinking. They learn to evaluate information, determine its relevance, and make connections.
Another way of teaching search and selecting strategy is to model the process. First, we are going to select a short passage or article, and we must see to it that it is appropriate to our students' reading level. Then, second, we will be demonstrating the process step by step while thinking aloud. For example, first, I'm going to read the title and look at any headings or subheadings. This gives me an idea of what the text is about. Then now, I'll read the first and last paragraphs carefully. These often contain the main idea and conclusion. As I read, I'll underline or highlight key words and phrases. I look for signal words like therefore, however, and because to identify important relationships between ideas. Lastly, I'll summarize the main points in my own words.
Now I'll read the first and last paragraphs carefully. These often contain the main idea and conclusion. As I read, I'll underline or highlight keywords and phrases. I look for signals, words like therefore, however, and because to identify important relationship between ideas. I'll summarize the main points in my own words.
Okay, now we have the guided practice. First is provide a simpler text. Choose a shorter and less complex passage for students to practice with. Next is step-by-step instructions. Provide clear step-by-step instructions for the search selecting process. Next is model with the class. Guide students through the process together, asking questions like what is the main idea of this paragraph or what are some key supporting details and such.
Another way in teaching your students using this strategy is independent practice. You can gradually increase the complexity. Gradually increase the complexity of the text students are working with. And then you can also use real-world application. You can connect the strategy to real-world reading tasks, such as reading articles for research projects or analyzing informational text. And then you can also do regular practice. Incorporate search selecting into regular classroom activities to reinforce learning.
The next strategy is called differentiation. So it is about tailoring instruction to meet individual students' needs, abilities, and interests. So the first one is provide scaffolds. This means that scaffolding involves providing temporary supports to help students grasp complex concepts or skills. Let us say, for example, providing visual aids. So these uses images, charts, and diagrams to illustrate key concepts. Next one is graphic organizers. These tools help students organize their thoughts and structure their writing. Sentence starters, offering the beginning of a sentence to help students get started with their responses or writing. So the purpose of this scaffold is that scaffolds are gradually removed as students become more proficient, promoting independence and confidence in learning. So the second one is challenge advanced learners. This means that offering more complex and in-depth tasks to students who are ready for additional challenges. So let us say, for example, complex texts. This encourages advanced learners to read and analyze text with deeper and more nuanced themes. For them to be able to identify nuances, ask them to explore and discuss subtle differences in meaning, tone, or perspective in texts. So the purpose of this second strategy ensures that advanced learners remain engaged and continue to grow academically by pushing their boundaries. So the third one is individualized support. This means that customizing instruction to meet the unique needs of each student. Let us say, for example, personalized instruction. Design lessons and activities that cater to individual learning styles and preferences. Flexible grouping. Group students dynamically based on their current needs, skill levels, or interests. Another one is one-on-one support. Provide additional help or enrichment activities as needed. So the purpose of this is to ensure that every student receives the support they need to succeed, regardless of their starting point or learning pace. So differentiation matters because it is crucial that it recognizes that students come with diverse backgrounds, abilities, and learning styles. By providing tailored instruction, educators can promote inclusivity and equity in the classroom. Foster a growth mindset, encouraging all students to achieve their full potential, and address gaps in understanding and provide appropriate challenges for all learners.
So here are the tips for effective implementation under differentiation. First is create a positive learning environment. This encourages the students to take risks and make mistakes without fear of judgment. So in selecting strategy, it only does not limit for improving the reading comprehension and critical thinking skills of the student, but also to boost their confidence and guide them to be mindful with their mistakes. So next is to provide ample feedback. So we should give a specific constructive feedback on students' work. So in this case, it is not just a plain comment or an observation about their work, but also it will help them to improve their work and learn from it. Next is celebrate success. Acknowledge and celebrate students' progress and accomplishments. For example, if the students made a high score on the class, you should not just acknowledge them, but also you may also give reward on that specific student to help them improve and to inspire the other students to improve themselves. So by practicing the selecting strategy, students will become more proficient readers and critical thinkers. They will learn to navigate complex texts effectively and extract the most important information, which will benefit them in all areas of their academic and personal lives. Thank you so much.